Hi, this is Sweet Jim. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope everybody had a blessed weekend. Um, I want to talk about. I don't know if you guys seen in the news, and they've been putting it on Facebook in the news feed about this man. This young man lost his 4-year-old daughter. The mother and her boyfriend killed the 4-year-old daughter, and they showed the clip of this young man in court, and he was just it just I don't know about you guys if you've seen it, but every time I look at that clip, it just tears me up. It just makes me heartsick. It just really tears me up. It's just so um heartbreaking to see this father cry over his little girl. You could see the passion. You could see how much he cared about his and he loved his little girl, and you can just it's just if you guys get a chance to look at it, because I know it's been circulating on Facebook. The boyfriend and the the baby's mother killed the 4-year-old girl, and he was in the process of trying to get custody of the little girl. um and I'm just finding out today that the daycare teacher um made 4 incident reports of the little girl, because daycare teachers are mandated reporters. When you're a daycare teacher, you're a mandated reporter. You are required to, if you notice any marks on the child, or any consistent marks, because children have accidents, but consistent. If the child's consistently coming in with marks on them and all that stuff, as a daycare teacher, it is your responsibility to report that. And so the daycare teacher, I'm finding out today that the daycare teacher made 4 incident reports. She noticed that there were marks on the child and everything else. And the father he was in the process, like some people on YouTube are saying that he wasn't trying hard enough to get his little girl. And I just think that is so insensitive. He was trying to get his little girl, but I don't know. The courts have the tendency to side in a woman's favor. The courts do side when it comes to children. Excuse me, excuse me. When it comes to children, the courts typically side in the mother's favor, um, in most cases. So it's very difficult for a father to gain custody of a child. You have to really, really prove that that mother is unfit beyond a shadow of a doubt. You have to prove her unfit beyond a shadow of a doubt. And he was in the process of trying to get custody of the little girl, but everybody know that it's a process. It's not an overnight process. And some people on YouTube were saying that he wasn't trying hard enough to get his baby girl, and even some people was going as far as to saying that this man was faking in court. Really? Seriously? I seen the tears rolling down the man's eyes, and I just teared up watching him. It was just so emotional watching this guy cry over this little girl. You can just tell how much. And today, there was a video posted. He posted a video on Facebook, um, pictures, the video of him crying, and he posted another video of him with the little girl in the car, and he was talking to the little girl and asking the little girl, did she want to go with her mom, or did she want to come with him? And that was, oh my God, it just makes your heart sick just watching it. And my heart just goes out to this man, this young man. He's just so devastated. He loved that little girl so much, and I just think it's so cold-hearted for people to say that he didn't try hard enough, and the system. It sounds like the system failed this child, because the daycare teacher says she reported the abuse. He was in the process of trying to get custody, but if you're not the custodial parent, you just can't just go in and take the child away, because then they're going to accuse you of kidnapping the child. Everybody know that sometimes there's an Amber Alert. I know they come on my phone sometimes. An Amber Alert goes out, and 9 times out of 10, when they do find the child, they found out that the other parent took the child. In a lot of cases, it's the father. So if he had went in and just took her and kept her, and the mother reported her missing, then he could get accused of kidnapping. Everybody know that. And so, being the father, you have to go through the process. You have to go through the process, the court process, the proper procedure to try to get custody of the child. And it's very difficult because the courts have the tendency to side in the mother's favor, because they think a lot of times, in most cases, it's in the child's best interest to be with the mom. But sometimes the mother is not the better parent. Sometimes the father is the better parent than the mother. Sometimes, in a lot of cases, the mother is not the best parent. The father is the best parent. And so you have to give the child to the better parent. And sometimes, in a lot of cases, the father is the better parent. And anyway, I seen this, and like I said, I teared up just watching it. If you guys, I know it's circulating on Facebook. If you guys had a chance to take a look at it, when I watch it, I tear up every time I watch it. It's just so devastating. It's so hard to see this man cry. It just makes your heart sick to see him cry like that. And he just hurting so bad, and my heart just really goes out to him. But with that being said, I want to make the point that I was marinating on that, on that video, and seeing how passionate this man was about his daughter. And I was thinking about how black men get painted a negative brush, a broad negative brush, as far as in the fatherhood department. Um, Black men get horribly stereotyped and say that most people say that they're all bad fathers, they're all deadbeats, they walk away from their children. And statistically, there are a lot of black men that do walk away from their children, but there are a lot of good black fathers out there. I mean, when I was looking at that, I was kind of marinating on that today, and I was like, you know what? Black men get a bad rap on that. There's a lot of good black fathers out here. I've seen good black fathers, and I've had good black fathers in my family. So there are lots of good black fathers out there. My son is a good black father. He's very hands on with my grandson. By the way, my grandson just turned 1. He's so adorable. He's kind of sick today, so guys, pray for him. He's kind of sick today. He's not feeling good, so I don't like that. But he's doing good, and he's so precious. But and my granddaughter, he gets her whenever he can, and he's very hands on with my grandson, and he's an excellent dad. I mean, he pays child support for both children. He's a hard worker. My son is a very good father, you know, um, very good father. And I know a lot of good black fathers. Um, I know a lot of good black dads, and not all of them are deadbeats. I guess that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that black men get horribly stereotyped, and a broad brush is painted, and to say that all of them, because statistically there are a large number of black men that do walk out on their kids. And so, as I've said in other videos, we have the tendency, we all get judged as a whole. We get judged as a whole. But this to see this black father, and to see how passionate he was about this little girl, it just it makes you heartsick to see him cry like that. But then at the same time, it's a good thing to see how much he really loved his daughter. And he put a video on today of him. He was actually talking to the daughter in the car, and it just seems like he really loved his daughter, and he really, really, he was trying. And like I said, I'm not going to say any names, but someone else did a video on here talking about that situation. And he was saying how he doesn't, he he feels sorry for the baby, but he don't feel sorry for the father because the father didn't try hard enough. And then the people in the comment section were saying, "Oh, he's faking it," and I don't see any tears, and I see tears coming down a man's eyes, and they're not looking hard enough. And I just really think that's cold-hearted. This man just lost his daughter. He just lost his 4-year-old daughter to the mother, and her boyfriend tortured and killed this baby girl. Now, he's got to process that. He has to process not only the fact that he lost this little girl, but the mother of the little girl and her boyfriend killed the little girl. They not only killed her, but they tortured her. Now he's got to process this. That is going to be very difficult for him to process that. And on top of that, he got to try to process this, and then he's going to be in a lot of pain for years to come. It's going to take him a very long time to even get to a place to where he can accept it and he can come to terms with it, if he can ever come to terms with it. And for people to say that this man was faking it, he wasn't trying hard enough to get his baby girl, that's just, to me, that's a very cold-hearted thing to say about this man. He obviously cared so much about this little girl, and everybody know that the court tend to side in the mother's favor, and it's very difficult for men to get custody of children. You have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the mother is unfit. That is not easy to prove, but it sounds like, from what I heard today, that the daycare teacher did 4 incident reports of the little girl coming to the daycare with bruises on her. And CPS apparently was notified. It sounds like the system failed this little girl. The father didn't fail her. The system failed her. They didn't act fast enough. It sounds like they didn't act fast enough to try to get this child out of the home. If the daycare teacher made 4 incident reports, how come CPS didn't follow up on that a lot faster? If 4 reports is a lot, 4 reports is a lot, and that's a red flag. And somebody should have tried to work faster to get this child out of the home. And now this child is dead, and the father has to live with the fact that, not only the fact that the child is dead, but they tortured the baby. They tortured the poor baby. You know, the mother pushed her down the stairs and she hit her upside the head. And it's just, they just tortured the little girl. And I got so many questions in my mind about this situation. There's so many questions that I have in my mind. I was like, I wonder what was going on between the mother and the father. Was she angry with him for some reason? Were they beefing? Was she trying to get back at him? Because sometimes the mothers do kill the children to get back at the father. Did she try to use the child as a pawn? Which in a lot of cases, mothers do that. They use the child as a pawn. Was she so angry with him that she wanted to get back at him? She realized how much he loved this little girl, and she wanted to get revenge by murdering the little girl. I just don't understand it. Being a mother myself, I don't get it. I don't understand, as a mother, how could she do something like that to her little girl? And this was a beautiful little girl. She was so precious. And for her boyfriend, I mean, and they sitting up there in court like, what gets me? This is what gets me. They sitting up there in court like, like it's no big deal. She's not crying. She's not hollering. Both of them, her and the boyfriend, just sitting up there like they just don't care. They just, it's devastating. And he's crying and he's all devastated, and they're just sitting up there like. And then when they're walking out of the court, the guy looks back at the father, And he said, "You killed." I don't have to say what he said, but you killed my daughter. He just kind of looks back at him all nonchalant. This whole thing is just very disturbing to me. It's just very disturbing to me. It's like, as a mother, I'm a mother of two sons. I could not imagine letting some man come into my life and influence me so much to the point to where I want to hurt my sons. I mean, I can't imagine being so angry with the fathers, because now I got my oldest son's dad wasn't there like he should have been. Um, my youngest son's dad wasn't there at all. Period. And I did go through a phase where I was, really angry with him. But then I realized, I said, well, June, you can't be angry with him without being angry at yourself, because this is who you got involved with. And so, but I couldn't imagine being so angry with him that I would want to take it out on my son. I just don't think like that. I mean, my son is a part of me. So, I mean, I just don't think like that. My brain doesn't work like that. I don't think like that. I ain't got that kind of heart condition. As a mother, I just can't, I just don't understand it. I don't understand, as a mother, how could you let a man influence you like that? How could you have that kind of a mindset? Even if she was mad or angry at the father, how could you be so angry with him that you are willing to take your own daughter out to get back at him? What did he do that was so bad, other than loving that baby, which was a good thing? And that's the questions I have in my mind. I mean, like, what was going on between those two? Why was she really angry at him? Were they beefing? And if they were beefing, why were they beefing? Like, well, I mean, they probably were beefing over the little girl, but for her to be so angry like that, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. As a mother, I don't understand it, because my thinking ain't nowhere near that, you know. And for this father, she should have been glad that he loved the little girl. She should have been happy that, a lot of women, I would have, man, I would have given up everything in my house to have my youngest son's dad be an active part of his life, to really, really take a vested interest and really, really show my son love. I would have given everything to have him in his life like that. Um, my oldest son's dad, I tried to actually get him to encourage him to be in his life and play a more active role in his life, but I realized at the end of the day, you can't get somebody to do something that you can't make somebody do something they don't want to do, you know. Um, but that's why I don't understand this. She should have been glad that he loved the little girl. She should have been happy that he loved the little girl. That he wanted to take the little girl, and spend time with the little girl. She should have been ecstatic. I don't understand these mothers. I really don't understand the way some of these mothers think. I don't know. But let me know. You guys sound off in the comment section. Tell me what you think about. If you've seen the story, you've seen this news clip, um, sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. And um, but I want to make that was the point that I wanted to make, that not all black men are deadbeat dads. Some of them, there's a lot of good black fathers out here. This is evidence of a father that really cared and really loved his daughter. I don't care what some of these other people on YouTube are saying. I think it's very cold-hearted for them to say that. But this shows and proves that this man, he really loved his daughter, and he really was trying to do what was best for his daughter. But the system failed him. The system failed him. The system failed his daughter. And I hope that at the end of the day, he will get justice. And my prayers go out to this man. Okay, let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like and subscribe to my channel and share my videos. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. This is Sweet June.